Shoreviewken!
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm taking a look at Garouden Breakblow, Fist or Twist for the PlayStation 2. It was released in 2007 and it's the second of two games based on the Garouden novel and manga series. The art style looks familiar. That's because the manga was illustrated by Keisuke Itagaki, who also created Baki the Grappler. If I had to choose a genre to describe this game, I'd call it a mixed martial arts game. Kind of like UFC, but the old UFC. You know, back when they would punch each other repeatedly in the ball sack, when they got tired of breaking their hands on each other's faces. The plot to Garouden is actually almost the exact same as Baki the Grappler, minus Baki's daddy issues. The main character, Bunshichi Tanba, is a guy who travels around Japan, challenging famous martial artists to street fights and then defeating them in embarrassing fashion. He eventually comes across an underground martial arts fighting ring called the FAW, and he's beaten in his first match. So he disappears for a couple of years, gets all badass and everything, and comes back to rejoin the FAW and beat the hell out of everybody. Lots of other characters from various martial arts backgrounds are introduced and compete in a number of different tournaments, as well as just fighting in the street. Honestly, the plot in a martial arts manga/game like Garouden isn't all that important. You just want to see the various characters beat the hell out of each other, and you get plenty of that here. Honestly though, I didn't really like this game all that much when I first started playing it. I thought it was nothing but a button masher. You have buttons for punching, kicking, blocking, and performing special techniques, and I kind of just went up to my opponent and started punching and kicking him, and he did the same. I'd win some and lose some, but I wasn't really having any fun. It wasn't until I realized that every character has distinct strengths and weaknesses, and requires a different play style, that I started to really appreciate this game. For instance, you can win with some characters without throwing any punches at all. You can just counter everything and choke the guy. There are enough characters that you can find the one that works best for you. You have 22 to start with, and you can unlock a bunch more. Pretty much every kind of martial art is represented here. You get karate, boxing, judo, and of course the ultimate martial art, pro wrestling. Oh yeah! One thing that I like about Garouden is that it dispenses with the typical life bar format and instead gives you one bar that's half red and half blue at the start of each match, and you basically play a game of tug of war by beating your opponent senseless. You both have 3 chains on the bar, and every time one is broken because you're getting beaten, you can use one of your 3 brutal special attacks that get you a big chunk of the bar back, but you only have one chance to land them. Next to the bar on either side is a silhouette that is initially green, but as you absorb attacks to different areas of the body, those areas will start to change color as they're being damaged. By focusing on and damaging different areas of your opponent's body, you make it easier to stagger them when you strike that body part, and then you're able to land more attacks. The many different fighting styles, coupled with the ability to focus on specific areas of your opponent's body, makes for a fighting game that invites you to use a lot of strategy. If you feel so inclined, that is. There are still some characters that work best as button-mashing combo machines. In fact, that's more or less my only complaint with Garouden, is that many times the CPU just comes straight in, throwing a flurry of attacks. No matter what, they just absorb all of your attacks and keep coming forward. This usually makes things a little easier if you're using a grappling style character, as you can just grab your opponent and put an end to all that flailing around. But if you prefer using the striking style characters, it makes it much harder to exercise any strategy when fists are constantly flying at your face. This definitely is a game that's best played with 2 players, especially 2 who are really familiar with the gameplay. Again, the many different fighting styles and the conditions that need to be met to win can make for some real chess matches. There are a lot of different gameplay modes to choose from as well, including tournament and story modes, although the story mode is really sparse. Each match just has a little excerpt from the story to read, and there are no cutscenes or even unique match intros. It's not a huge deal though. Again, it's all about the fighting, not so much about the story. This is a pretty good looking game, I guess. My only real complaint about the visuals is that there can be a bit of clipping here and there. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I like the art style of Keisuke Itagaki. All of the characters have very expressive and exaggerated faces, and they all animate well. There are plenty of different stages to fight in, and they all look pretty good too. This game also features some decent sound design. For the most part, the music is high energy rock and punk, and it suits the action really well. There's a lot of voice work as well, and it all sounds good, as do the sound effects. Lots of bone crunching, and all of the attacks sound really impactful. Overall, there's some really nice presentation here. So if you're a fighting game fan looking for something a little different, maybe you're growing a bit bored with Street Fighter and Tekken, you might want to try Garouden Breakblow, Fist or Twist. It's not the best fighting game I've ever played, but it's still damn good, and it certainly stands out in the crowd. Check it out.